and again and again. So we can see that we can track complex expressions right inside this window without having to do a calculation ourselves. So if you're tracing the flow of a program inside maybe a loop within a loop, then it can be very difficult to find certain elements or calculate what certain values are going to be. And rather than changing your code and setting another temporary variable to the result of that calculation, you can do that right inside the Fusion debug with this expression watcher. And let me just show you another feature. If I resume this page again, we need to take that breakpoint off, resume the page again. So now that's run to completion. Let's have a look at the second part of this piece of code. And what it does is it creates a new struct and then loops over 1,000 times, creating 1,000 entries in this struct, and sets all those to hey. And what we need to do is we want to find a certain variable, this element here, which has been given the key, are not difficult to find. And if we just rerun that page with a breakpoint set, oops. If we rerun that page with a breakpoint set here and have a look at the variables page, then sometimes you can have very, very large structures or arrays where there are many, many different values. So you see here that FusionDebug already tries to split these up for you. If this was numbered elements in an array, then it would split them up by groups. So say the first 10 rows and then the next 10 and so on. But it can be very difficult to find a variable in here. So some of the features that we have is we can use find, and let's say I want to find all those beginning AO, then I can see those here. If I want to find the variable I can go and see that up here. But I want to find this one here, the I am not difficult to find, and I want to see what the value of that is. Well, instead of having to trawl through the variables page or having to dump that out or change my code, I can simply select it, right click, watch expression, then go to my expressions tab, and I can see here exactly what the value of that variable is. Immediately, I haven't had to change anything, I haven't had to do anything extra, I can see the value of it immediately. And again, that's a very powerful function when you've got a large chunk of code. So let's see what else. We've got multiple request support. So in here I have a very simple page which just outputs hello. So I'm going to add a breakpoint in this file. So I have a breakpoint here now set, and if I refresh this page, then you'll see that it pops up and I have a debugging session open with this page. Now what happens if I copy that URL, I open a new tab, paste in the URL, hit return, then I now get a second debugging session. Same again, third debugging session. So I can debug multiple pages at any one time. It doesn't all have to be just a single threaded execution. It can be multiple pages debugging against the same server at various points in time. You can even debug against multiple servers at the same time by configuring FusionDebug. And that's an advanced topic that will be covered in the training session that we have. So we have a interactive web presentation that's able to teach you all these features about FusionDebug and give you lots of hints and tips and tricks and really follow into the advanced topics, and that's available to order through our website. But for now, let's just resume execution on these and let's have them all continue. Brilliant. Okay, so finally, full stack tracing. So what does that actually mean? Well, when I run the page, I get some output here, and let's have a look at what's generating that. So here, let me just make optimize that. I've created a instance of the shop object, and I then have created a couple of products. So we're just simulating a very simple store application. So the first product, I've given it a name FusionDebug and added it to my shop, and another product, Fusion Reactor, and added that to my shop. I then call this function called getLowestPriceProduct and output the result of that. So when I run that code, I get this output here. But let's just add a breakpoint on this line here, add product, and refresh the page. Then we see that the FusionDebug has broken out at this point in time. But if I step into that code, then we have a look at the add product function, we can see that it tries to do an array append. Now, if I'd broken out at this point in the code, then I might not know what the arguments are. And we can see that it's called new product, but we don't really know what's contained inside that object. And here we see the flow of execution, so I can click on that there. If I click on that, then it shows me the line where that function is called. If I click on the next one up, it shows me at the current line of execution. And now I want to see what arguments were passed into this function. So let's go to variables, and we can go to arguments, and we see the new product object, and I can even open that up. I can see all the functions that are inside that object and these public properties also. So that can be very, very useful. So I haven't had to change any code again. I can see the arguments that were passed into this function. I can see the properties of any components that you pass in. You can see any structs, any arrays. You can drill down right into the variables and see everything about the arguments that's been passed in. So that can be a fantastic tool for finding out what's actually happening on your server. So let's resume that. And so these are the main functions of FusionDebug. We've got the conditional breakpoints, the break on runtime exception, the run to line, the advanced stepping technology, which makes FusionDebug the fastest interactive CFML step debugger, the source code lookup, so you can split your projects. We can see all sorts of different variables and scopes, so server, session, application scope, cookie scope, anything that's available to the application server we can see. We have the expression watcher, so that you can watch complex expressions or help you find variables that you're using. We can debug multiple requests simultaneously, and we can see full stack traces and any information about any element in that stack trace. So hopefully that summarizes the main functions inside FusionDebug. So we've covered how to install FusionDebug into your Eclipse environment, or downloading a ready-made Eclipse environment from our website, connecting FusionDebug with Railo, and we've run through the main features. So there's some URLs there on the screen at the moment, and these will be posted along with a recording of the webinar. We offer consulting services, so for all things ColdFusion and Flex related, we have consulting. The FusionDebug training, there's a lot more information about what's covered inside the training on our website. And currently the latest version of FusionDebug is version 3.0.0, but we have a small release coming soon which adds improved support for ColdFusion 9. And we also have a new feature which is called the hit count feature, and I can't tell you too much about that now, but look out for the latest version which is coming very soon. It's currently in beta, and you can check out those new features. So FusionDebug itself, it starts at just $299 for the very basic version, with no maintenance. As you've seen, we update FusionDebug quite regularly, so it's well worth getting a maintenance bundle. Or if you purchase Railo Enterprise Edition, then FusionDebug actually comes included in that bundle for free. Or if you'd like some more information, you can check out our website or email the sales team, which is sales@fusion-reactor.com. and some of you that are watching this